Gus, I mean, you've been around this league a long time. You know that you got to just kind of roll with the punches. Just what do you tell guys, you know, when things kind of get shaken up like this? Is there a message that you kind
Right.
of
Yeah, it's always hard, right? I mean, I'm amazed the resilience of players in our league, right? I know when I first got into the NFL, my first year, 2006, I came from college in the NFL, and I come in, hey, Gus, you got a player A that's coming into your building, and hey, how you doing? Nice to meet you. And 2 days later, he's gone. And that happened quite a bit, and I was like, oh, boy. You know, I'm not sure the NFL is right for me because it wasn't the same. In college, you brought them in as high school seniors, and you were with them and saw them grow. In the NFL, it was like this. And I remember Derek Brooks pulled me aside, and he goes, you're struggling with this, aren't you, Gus? And I said, yeah. And he goes, you know what? We understand the business. We understand that we could be here and then be gone. If you could just, while we're here, pour your heart and soul into us, we understand the business enough. Just do that. And I was like, okay. It was kind of a, how am I going to make this work with the mentality of it? And so that's what I've tried to do is just say, I don't know who's going to be here and who's not, but while they're here, to pour your heart and soul into them. And, you know, you get a little bit of that feeling like college where you had them from their senior year till there's, you know, in high school till their senior year in college. So, and I think that's somewhat with the coaches. You know, the great thing about the NFL is that you develop unique relationships. And it's no different with Marcus. He is an unbelievable man. And I know you guys know that as well as I do. And an unbelievable coach. And the players felt it, and so did the coaching staff. So it's always hard. But I think you just concentrate more on the relationship that you have with them and the respect that you've gained by working with them.
I guess as a coach, how do you prepare for the hired to be fired mentality that seems to prevail to where it may happen later? I mean, whatever. How does a coach do you handle?
Right. I think that sometimes if you get caught up in that, it keeps you from being your best for the team. You know, but it is a battle. It's a real battle. But I think that you're constantly saying, if I think about that, this organization, this team, you want to pour your heart and soul into them. So if you think about all those things that could happen, it keeps you from doing that. But it is a battle. It is a battle. I think it's real. And I'm not saying that I fall victim to it at times, but you try not to, you know. Fortunately, we got a really good organization and really good people and good. I mean, we had a really, really good. I didn't think last Wednesday was a real good practice. And we kind of challenged the guys on it. And then we came out and had a couple good practices. Where yesterday I thought we had a really, really good practice. Really good practice. And I think you sometimes feed off of that. You see how they're practicing. You're going, yeah, they're giving everything to get this right. And, you know, I think you feed off of that as a coach, too.
It's been a long road back for Shaq.
Yeah.
Stops, starts, surgery. What'd you see on Sunday on the tape from him?
He's, you know what, it's, you know, obviously he was on a rep count, and we're trying to get him back to where it's twofold. One, he's coming back from the injury. Two, he's also learning the defense. I mean, he's had a ton of walkthroughs, but it's nothing like going out there and playing. So it's that gradual, keep feeding him, keep seeing him getting better and better and getting a better feel out there. So it's bringing him to where he's back to an A. And it's a process that we're doing to get him, you know, there where he gains confidence and not only his ability physically, but also understanding the game. So,
It's gonna take a while.
well, I wouldn't say that. He really did make good. I thought last week during practice he made really good strides. And definitely thought he played better this game than the first time he was in there. So we just got to keep progressing him. And the challenge for us as coaches, we want him on the field. He makes things happen when he's on the field. But we have this progression that we want to take to help him, you know, so when he's out there consistently, he's at his best. And so we'll talk about it again tomorrow and just evaluate this week and see where it's at. I will say this with Shaq. He has been, if everything I heard about Shaq was that he is an unbelievable competitor, and there is no doubt about that. But what he is going through now, I mean, you can imagine, right? He's one of the best linebackers in the league, if not the best. And then he's coming back from this, but there is no doubt he is one of the fiercest competitors I've ever met because of what he's going through and challenging. And on top of it, an unbelievable teammate. Unbelievable, off the charts with Bobby, Zaire, the whole team, gets up in front of the defense, and you think about he's got a lot of things going through his mind and can lead like that. Unbelievable respect for him and how he is as a competitor.
What went into him flip-flopping with Bobby as opposed to Zaire?
Well, a couple things, I don't want to get into too much of it, but just as far as his progression, some of the things we're going to ask him to do and that he has done in the past, and keep him in that comfort level. I think it's our job as a coaches is to recognize the skill set of the guys and then put them in position to where there's, we can utilize their strengths. So it could change from week to week, but that was one of the areas that we felt like would, be good for him as far as a comfort level, understanding what is asked of him and where he could perform pretty high level.
Is that something that maybe would have been harder to see at the beginning of the season before Zaire started playing the way he's played?
Well, I think Shaq's ideal position, if you look at the history of our style of defense, the Mike linebacker is the guy that's around the ball a lot, like a Bobby Wagner, Fred Warner, those guys. We had Denzel Perriman. Those guys are around the ball. So in the ideal world, yeah, we came in and we're saying he would be the Mike because he's going to be around the ball a lot. But that's what we're going to keep progressing him because we feel like, that he's talented enough to where he could play either one of them. But, you're trying to get him to where he can be around the ball.
Have you ever seen a nose tackle have a season like the one Grover Sturdy's having? He's 43 tackles.
He's another one. I think I mentioned that before. Sometimes, when you first come in, you compare him. Hey, that's what scouts do, right? He's just like this guy, or he's just like that guy, and a lot of that. But he has been tremendous. I think he'd be a good player in any system. The way he plays. I mean, you could ask him to be a head-up nose, a shade nose, a two technique. He's just disruptive, but he really has been disruptive and is consistent. And even in practice, both him and Buck, we had a tape today where we were showing, just trying to teach the younger guys how you practice on a Wednesday practice. And it was clips in the D-line of Buck and Grove. So, yeah, he's been very disruptive for us.
What's the magnitude of a loss of a Taekwondo Lewis with what he was bringing to your team?
That's a big loss. It is a big loss. I've learned to really grow and trust Taekwon as a player. Great person, all that, but as a player because you can put him anywhere. You need a three technique, he's there. You need him to set the edge, he's there. And just like that 4th and 1 play that EJ made on the sideline, well, a lot of that was Taekwon setting the edge and stringing it out. You just know that if we have an issue where we need somebody, he could go in there and fulfill that role. So sometimes you talk about a 3 technique. You'd like to have a swing 3, a guy that can play nose or 3. Well, he's kind of a swing and nose 3 Leo. He can play all those. So when you lose a guy like that, it's tough on you. But with that being said, I think sometimes when it creates opportunities for others, like a guy like Dio, I think he has really steadily improved. So now he's going to get his chance. And, it can make us even stronger in the long run if he takes advantage of it and, performs like he's capable.